First contact. Unexpected arrivals. The vast emptiness of space shimmered with an otherworldly glow as the U.S. Horizon, Earth's most advanced exploration vessel, cruised through the uncharted regions of the Andromeda Galaxy. Captain Sarah Chen stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display before her. The ship's sensors had picked up an anomaly, a disturbance in the fabric of space-time that defied explanation. "Status report," Chen demanded, her voice steady despite the tension that gripped the bridge. Lieutenant Raj Patel, the ship's science officer, furrowed his brow as he analyzed the incoming data. "Captain, the anomaly is growing. It's unlike anything we've ever encountered. Energy readings are off the charts." Before Chen could respond, a blinding flash of light engulfed the bridge. As the crew's vision cleared, they found themselves face to face with the impossible. A massive alien vessel had materialized out of thin air, dwarfing the horizon in both size and complexity. "Red alert," Chen barked, her training kicking in despite the shock. "Shields up, weapons on standby. Let's not jump to conclusions, people. This could be first contact." The alien ship hung motionless in space, its sleek obsidian surface absorbing light rather than reflecting it. No visible weapons or propulsion systems could be seen, but the sheer size of the vessel spoke volumes about its technological superiority. "Captain," called out Communications Officer Zara Okoro, her fingers dancing across her console. "We're receiving a transmission. It's in English." Chen's eyebrows shot up. "On screen," she ordered, steeling herself for whatever came next. The main view screen flickered to life, revealing a being that defied human imagination. It appeared humanoid, but its skin shimmered with an iridescent quality, shifting colors like oil on water. Its eyes, large and multifaceted like those of an insect, seemed to look everywhere at once. "Greetings, humans of the U.S. Horizon." The alien spoke, its voice a melodious hum that seemed to resonate within their minds rather than their ears. "I am Zixlian, emissary of the Galactic Concordat. We have been observing your species for some time, and we believe you are ready for integration." Captain Chen stepped forward, her posture straight and confident. "I am Captain Sarah Chen of the United Earth Alliance. We come in peace and with open minds. However, I must inform you that any attempt at forced integration will be met with resistance." Zixlian's form rippled, a gesture that could have been amusement or annoyance. It was impossible to tell. "Fascinating. You speak of resistance without knowing our capabilities or intentions. Is this bravery or foolishness?" "Neither," Chen replied firmly. "It's human nature. We act on instinct when faced with the unknown, but we're also capable of diplomacy and understanding. Perhaps you could clarify what you mean by integration." The alien emissary seemed to consider this for a moment. "Very well. The Galactic Concordat is an alliance of advanced civilizations. We offer knowledge, technology, and protection to species we deem worthy. However, there is a price: submission to our governing body and adherence to our laws." A murmur of unease rippled through the bridge crew. Chen held up a hand to quiet them. "And if we refuse?" "Refusal is uncommon," Zixlian stated, its tone carrying a hint of warning. "Those who reject our offer often find themselves ill-equipped to face the dangers of the galaxy alone." Chen's mind raced. The offer was tempting. Access to advanced alien technology could solve many of Earth's problems. But at what cost? The loss of autonomy. The subjugation of the human spirit. "Emissary Zixlian," Chen began, choosing her words carefully, "we appreciate your offer. However, humanity has always valued its independence. We've faced countless challenges throughout our history and have always emerged stronger. We're not looking for a shortcut to advancement or protection from an unknown threat." Zixlian's form shimmered more intensely. "You would reject our generosity based on pride. This is most unusual. Perhaps we have misjudged your species' readiness." "Not pride," Chen corrected, a small smile playing on her lips. "Hope. hope in our ability to forge our own path, to learn and grow at our own pace. We're explorers, emissary. We seek friendship and cooperation, not subservience. The alien's multifaceted eyes seem to focus more intently on Chen. Your words are intriguing, Captain. Few species have ever dared to challenge the Concordat's offer, yet you do so without hesitation or fear. Explain this. Hope. Chen glanced around at her crew, seeing determination and support in their eyes. She turned back to the view screen, her voice filled with conviction. Hope is what drives us to explore the unknown, to push beyond our limitations. It's the belief that we can overcome any obstacle, learn from our mistakes, and build a better future. It's not about rejecting your knowledge or assistance, emissary. It's about earning it on our own terms, as equals. A long silence followed, broken only by the soft beeping of the ship's instruments. The crew held their breath, aware that this moment could shape the future of human-alien relations. Finally, Zixlian spoke, its voice carrying a new tone, something akin to respect. Your species continues to surprise us, Captain Chen. Perhaps there is more to learn from humanity than we initially thought. We will withdraw for now, but know this. You have piqued the interest of the Galactic Concordat. We will be watching your progress with great interest. As suddenly as it had appeared, the alien vessel began to shimmer and fade. Within moments, it had vanished entirely, leaving the U.S. horizon alone in the vastness of space once more. The bridge erupted in a mixture of relieved sighs and excited chatter. Captain Chen allowed herself a moment to relax before addressing her crew. Well done, everyone. We've just made first contact, and we did it on our terms. But this is just the beginning. The galaxy knows we're here now, and we've shown them that humanity is a force to be reckoned with, not through our technology or weapons, but through our spirit. As the Horizon resumed its mission, Captain Chen couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. They had stood their ground against an advanced alien civilization, armed with nothing but words and conviction. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she was confident that humanity would face them head-on, guided by that uniquely human quality, the ability to act without questioning, driven by hope, and the unshakable belief in their own potential. The stars seemed to shine a little brighter as the U.S. horizon continued its journey into the unknown, carrying with it the indomitable spirit of humanity. The human factor, instinct, and innovation. The U.S. horizon streaked through space, leaving behind the site of humanity's first alien encounter. Captain Sarah Chen sat in her ready room, composing her report to Earth Command. The gravity of their recent experience weighed heavily on her mind. A chime at her door interrupted her thoughts. "Enter," she called out. Lieutenant Raj Patel stepped in, his usual calm demeanor tinged with excitement. "Captain, I've completed my analysis of the sensor data from our encounter with the alien vessel. You're going to want to see this." Chen nodded, following Patel to the science lab. The room was a hive of activity, with screens displaying complex equations and 3D models of the alien ship. "What am I looking at, Lieutenant?" Chen asked, her eyes scanning the displays. Patel's fingers danced across a console, bringing up a detailed schematic. "This, Captain, is a theoretical model of the alien ship's propulsion system. It's revolutionary. They're not using warp drive or any form of conventional FTL travel. They're manipulating the fabric of space-time itself." Chen's eyes widened. "Are you saying they can create wormholes at will?" "Not just wormholes, Captain. They can fold space, creating shortcuts through the universe that defy our understanding of physics. It's how they appeared so suddenly during our encounter. The implications were staggering. Such technology could revolutionize space travel, making the vast distances between stars trivial. But it also posed a significant threat. An enemy with this capability could strike anywhere, at any time, without warning. "Can we replicate it?" Chen asked, her mind already racing with possibilities. Patel shook his head. "Not with our current level of technology." But he hesitated, A glint in his eye. I have an idea. It's unconventional, possibly dangerous, but it might give us an edge. Chen raised an eyebrow. I'm listening, Lieutenant. We can't match their technology, but we might be able to detect and predict these space-time distortions. If we reconfigure our sensor array and tie it into the ship's AI, we could potentially create an early warning system. Do it, Chen ordered without hesitation. Assemble a team and make it your top priority. As Paddle rushed off to begin work, Chen couldn't help but feel a surge of pride. This was humanity at its finest, faced with an overwhelming technological advantage. They didn't give up. Instead, they innovated, adapting and finding new solutions with the resources at hand. Days passed as the Horizon continued its mission, the crew working tirelessly on their new defense system. The ship's AI, dubbed Archimedes by the crew, was learning to detect the subtle fluctuations in spacetime that preceded the formation of a fold. It was during a routine patrol of a nearby star system that their efforts were put to the test. Captain to the bridge. The urgent call came over the ship's intercom, jolting Chen from her sleep. She rushed to her post, adrenaline coursing through her veins. Report, she demanded as she entered the bridge. Officer Zara Okoro turned from her station, her face a mixture of excitement and apprehension. Captain, Archimedes has detected a space-time distortion forming approximately 500,000 kilometers off our port bow. Chen's eyes narrowed. Red alert. Shields up, weapons on standby. Let's see if our new trick works. The bridge crew watched with bated breath as a shimmering distortion appeared exactly where Archimedes had predicted. Moments later, an alien vessel emerged, but it wasn't the galactic Concordat ship they had encountered before. This one was smaller, sleeker, and bristling with what were unmistakably weapon ports. Unidentified vessel. This is Captain Sarah Chen of the U.S. Horizon. State your intentions. Chen called out, her voice steady despite the tension. The response came in the form of a barrage of energy weapons fire. The Horizon rocked under the assault, but its shields held. Evasive maneuvers. Chen ordered. Return fire. Target their weapon systems. The Horizon danced through space, its human crew working in perfect harmony with the ship's eye. They may not have had the advanced technology of their attackers, but they had something equally powerful, human intuition and adaptability. Captain, Patel called out from his station. I'm detecting a power surge in their engines. I think they're preparing to jump. Chen's mind raced. If the alien ship escaped, they'd lose their only lead on this new threat. In that split second, she made a decision that would change the course of human history. Archimedes, she called out to the ship's AI. Can you predict where they're going to open their space fold? Affirmative, Captain. The AI's calm voice responded. Calculating probable exit point now. Helm, prepare to enter those coordinates the moment Archimedes provides them. Weapons, be ready to fire a full spread of quantum torpedoes into that point as soon as we arrive. The alien ship vanished in a flash of light, folding space around itself. Without missing a beat, the Horizon jumped to the predicted coordinates. They emerged from warp just as the alien vessel was re-entering normal space, caught completely off guard by the humans' unprecedented maneuver. Fire, Chen ordered. The quantum torpedoes struck true, overwhelming the alien ship's already taxed defenses. Secondary explosions blossomed across its hull as critical systems failed. They're powering down weapons and engines, Okoro reported. We're being hailed. The view screen flickered to life, revealing a humanoid alien with metallic skin and glowing red eyes. Impossible, it sputtered, its voice a harsh, synthetic rasp. How did you follow us? No species at your level of development should be capable of predicting space folds. Chen allowed herself a small smile. We're full of surprises. Now I suggest you power down completely and prepare to be boarded. We have some questions for you. As the alien ship was secured and its crew taken into custody, Chen realized the magnitude of what they had accomplished. Not only had they successfully defended themselves against a technologically superior foe, but they had also captured an advanced alien vessel for study. More importantly, they had sent a message to the galaxy at large. Humanity may be new to the cosmic stage, but they were a force to be reckoned with. Their ability to innovate, to act on instinct, and to think outside the box had turned a potential disaster into a resounding victory. As Chen looked around at her crew, she saw the same determination and pride reflected in their eyes. They had taken their first steps into a larger universe, and they had done so not by cowering or begging for protection, but by standing tall and facing the unknown head-on. The U.S. horizon set a course back to Earth, atoll scared but intact, carrying with it the spoils of their unexpected battle and the promise of a new era for humanity. The galaxy may have been watching them with interest before, but now, Chen knew, they would be watching with a mixture of awe and trepidation. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they had no intention of playing a minor role. Alien perspectives, confusion, and curiosity. In the vast chambers of the galactic Concordat's central hub, a heated debate was underway. The circular room, with its soaring crystalline dome and hovering platforms, buzzed with the voices of a dozen different species, each more alien than the last. At the center of the commotion stood Zixlian, the iridescent-skinned emissary who had made first contact with the humans. Its multifaceted eyes swept across the assembly, taking in the mix of confusion, anger, and curiosity on the faces of its fellow council members. "Order," boomed the voice of Grand Arbiter Cathax, a towering, amorphous being of swirling gases contained within an ornate exosuit. The chamber fell silent. "Emissary Zixlian, please continue your report on the human species." Zixlian's form shimmered as it spoke, its melodious voice carrying to every corner of the room. "Esteemed members of the Concordat, I stand by my initial assessment. The humans are unlike any species we have encountered before. They rejected our offer of integration without hesitation, citing concepts like hope and independence." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. A serpentine creature with gossamer wings, Ambassador Silarath of the Nebula Collective, raised a delicate tendril. "This is unprecedented. No species has ever refused integration. Are these humans truly so foolish as to think they can survive the dangers of the galaxy alone?" Zixlian's colors shifted to a deep blue. "I do not believe it is foolishness, Ambassador. There is a strength in them, a resilience born of their turbulent history. They value their autonomy above all else." "Bah!" The guttural exclamation came from General Krogath, a hulking reptilian being adorned with bioluminescent war paint. "Autonomy is a luxury for those who can defend it. These humans are centuries behind us technologically. They should be grateful for our protection." The Grand Arbiter's exosuit hummed as it processed the conflicting opinions. "What of the recent incident with the Jackal Marauders? Our reports indicate that a single human vessel not only survived an encounter, but managed to capture a Jackal ship. How is this possible?" A hush fell over the chamber. The Jackal were known throughout the galaxy as ruthless pirates, their fold space technology making them nearly impossible to track or intercept. Zixlian's form rippled with what might have been pride. The humans demonstrated remarkable adaptability and ingenuity. They developed a method to predict the formation of space-time folds, something we believe to be impossible for a species at their technological level. The chamber erupted in a cacophony of exclamations and questions. The Grand Arbiter raised a limb for silence. "This is disturbing news. If the humans can innovate at such a rate, they could pose a significant threat to the stability of the Concordat. Or," interjected a new voice, "they could be the key to our survival." All eyes turned to the speaker, Dr. Eloria, chief scientist of the Concordat. The diminutive bioluminescent being floated forward on a cushion of anti-gravity. "We have grown complacent in our technological superiority. The Epsilon threat looms on the horizon, and our standard tactics have proven ineffective. Perhaps what we need is a fresh perspective." The human perspective. General Krogath's scales bristled. You suggest we pin our hopes on a primitive species. Preposterous. Is it? Dr. Iloria countered. In a matter of days, they found a way to counter technology that has stumped our best scientists for centuries. Imagine what they could accomplish if we shared our knowledge with them as equals, rather than subjugating them. The chamber fell into contemplative silence. The Grand Arbiter's exosuit whirred as it processed the implications. Emissary Zixilian, you have had the most contact with these humans. What do you recommend? Zixilian's form shimmered with a rainbow of colors as it considered its response. I believe we should continue to observe them, but also to test them. Not as potential subjects, but as potential allies. Their captain, Sarah Chen, spoke of cooperation and friendship. Perhaps it is time we took her at her word. The Grand Arbiter's decision rang through the chamber. Very well. We will establish a diplomatic mission to Earth. Emissary Zixilian, you will lead this mission. Observe, interact, but do not interfere directly in their development. Let us see what these humans are truly capable of. As the council adjourned, Zixilian found itself approached by Dr. Iloria. The scientist's bioluminescent patterns pulsed with excitement. I envy you, emissary. You get to witness the rise of a truly unique species. These humans, they act without questioning, driven by instinct and emotion as much as logic. It's fascinating. Zixilian's form rippled in agreement. Indeed, they are unpredictable, often irrational, but there is a beauty in their chaos. They call it human nature, this ability to face the unknown with neither fear nor hesitation. Do you think they stand a chance against the Epsilon threat? Dr. Iloria asked, a note of worry in its harmonic voice. Zixilian's multifaceted eyes seemed to gaze into the future. I do not know. But if any species has a chance of surprising us, and the Epsilon threat, it's the humans. They have already done the impossible once. Who's to say they won't do it again? As Zixilian prepared for its mission to Earth, it couldn't help but feel a sense of anticipation. The humans had rejected the Concordat's offer of integration, but in doing so, they had opened up a new possibility. A future where different species could coexist as equals, each bringing their unique strengths to face the challenges of the universe. The emissary's ship, a sleek vessel designed for stealth and diplomacy, slipped into fold space, setting a course for the Sol system. As the stars streaked by, Zixilian pondered the complexities of the task ahead. How does one negotiate with a species that values independence above all else? How can the Concordat gain the humans' trust without revealing the full extent of the galactic dangers that lurked in the shadows? More importantly, how would humanity react when they learned that they were not just participants in the cosmic dance, but potentially the key players in an upcoming war that threatened the very fabric of the galaxy? As Earth grew larger in the view screen, Zixilian felt a sensation it had not experienced in centuries. Uncertainty. The humans had already defied expectations once. There was no telling what they might do next. One thing was certain. The galaxy was about to change, and humanity would be at the center of it all. Whether they would be its saviors or its downfall remained to be seen. But Zixilian, along with the rest of the galactic Concordat, would be watching with bated breath, ready to bear witness to the next chapter in the cosmic saga of human defiance and ingenuity. The stage was set, the players were in motion, and the greatest challenge in galactic history was about to unfold. And at the heart of it all was a species that dared to act without questioning, driven by that most unpredictable and powerful of forces, human nature. Diplomatic dance, miscommunications, and revelations. The United Earth Council chamber was abuzz with nervous energy. Representatives from every nation on the planet sat in tense silence as they awaited the arrival of the alien delegation. At the center of it all stood Captain Sarah Chen, her posture rigid, her eyes fixed on the ornate doors at the far end of the room. Captain Chen, a voice called out. She turned to see Dr. Emily Sato, Earth's leading xenolinguist, approaching with a tablet in hand. I finished my preliminary analysis of the Concordet's language patterns. There's something odd about it. Chen raised an eyebrow. Odd how? Before Dr. Seto could respond, the doors swung open. A hush fell over the assembly as Zixlian glided into the room, its iridescent form shimmering under the chamber's lights. Flanking the alien emissary were two other beings. One, a floating orb of swirling gases, the other a towering insectoid creature with multiple limbs and compound eyes. Representatives of Earth, Zixlian's melodious voice resonated through the chamber. We come in peace and with open minds, echoing the words of your Captain Chen during our first encounter. Chen stepped forward, her voice steady. Welcome to Earth, Emissary Zixlian. We are honored to host the Galactic Concordet's delegation. As the formal introductions began, Dr. Seto leaned in close to Chen, whispering urgently, Captain, their language. It's not just words. There are subtle harmonic frequencies, color shifts, even pheromonal releases. We're only getting a fraction of their communication. Chen's mind raced. This complicated things significantly. How could they negotiate fairly if they weren't getting the full picture? The diplomatic talks began in earnest, with Zixlian outlining the Concordet's proposal for Earth's supervised integration into the galactic community. But as the alien spoke, Chen noticed the subtle shifts Dr. Seto had mentioned. Flashes of color across Zixlian's skin, barely perceptible changes in tone that seemed to carry hidden meanings. While we understand your species' desire for autonomy, Zixlian was saying, its form rippling with shades of blue and green, we must insist on certain safeguards. Chen interrupted, her instincts kicking in. Emissary, with all due respect, we can't agree to terms we don't fully understand. Our xenolinguists have detected layers of communication in your language that we're unable to perceive. For these talks to be fair, we need full transparency. A ripple of surprise passed through the alien delegation. The gaseous orb pulsed rapidly, emitting a series of chirps and whistles. The insectoid creature's antennae twitched erratically. Zixlian's form shimmered with what might have been embarrassment. You can detect our subharmonics. Impossible. Your sensory capabilities should not be this advanced. They're not, Chen admitted. But our scientists are observant and our technology is adaptable. Now please, explain these safeguards in terms we can all understand. There was a moment of tense silence. Then, to everyone's surprise, Zixlian let out a sound that could only be described as laughter. Once again, you humans proved to be full of surprises. Very well, Captain Chen. Let us speak plainly. What followed was a revelation that left the Earth representative stunned. Zixlian explained the true reason for the Concordet's interest in humanity, the looming threat of an extragalactic force known as the Epsilon threat. This enemy defies comprehension, Zixlian explained, its voice grave. They do not communicate. They do not negotiate. They simply consume, assimilating entire civilizations into their biomechanical collective. Our most advanced weapons barely slow them down. And you think we can help? Chen asked, skepticism evident in her voice. You said it yourself. We're centuries behind you technologically. The insectoid alien stepped forward, its mandibles clicking as it spoke through a translator. It is precisely because of your technological inferiority that you may be our greatest hope, Captain. Your species has demonstrated an uncanny ability to innovate, to find solutions where we see none. Dr. Seto's eyes widened in realization. The space-fold prediction technology we developed. You couldn't have created that, could you? Even with all your advanced science. Zixlian's form rippled in confirmation. We had long believed it to be impossible. Yet you achieved it in a matter of days, with technology centuries behind our own. It is this human factor that we believe could be the key to defeating the Epsilon threat. The chamber erupted in a flurry of questions and exclamations. Chen raised her hand for silence, her mind whirling with the implications of this revelation. So, she said slowly, your offer of integration was never about subjugating us. You're recruiting us." "Yes," Zixlian admitted, though perhaps recruiting is too formal a term. "We are hoping that your unique perspective, your ability to act on instinct and innovate in ways we cannot, might be the saving grace of our galaxy." Chen looked around the room, seeing the mix of fear, excitement, and determination on the faces of her fellow humans. They stood on the precipice of a new era, one where humanity would not just be taking its place among the stars, but potentially saving them. "Emissary Zixlian," Chen said, her voice ringing clear through the chamber, "on behalf of humanity, I can say this: we do not shy away from challenges. We do not cower in the face of threats, no matter how overwhelming they may seem. If your Epsilon threat thinks it can simply consume our galaxy without a fight, it's in for one hell of a surprise." A ripple of approval passed through the human assembly. Zixlian's form shimmered with what might have been relief and admiration. "However," Chen continued, her tone firming, "we will face this threat on our terms. We are not your subordinates or your secret weapons. We are your allies, equal partners in the defense of our shared galaxy. Any agreement moving forward must reflect this." The alien delegation conferred briefly, their complex communications lost on human senses. Finally, Zixlian turned back to the assembly. "Captain Chen, representatives of Earth," the alien emissary's voice carried a new note of respect. "The Galactic Concordat accepts your terms. Let this day mark the beginning of a new era, not just for humanity, but for all sentient life in our galaxy." As the chamber filled with the sound of applause and excited chatter, Chen couldn't help but feel a mix of pride and trepidation. Humanity had just been thrust onto a cosmic stage, facing a threat beyond imagination. But as she looked around at her fellow humans, scientists, diplomats, soldiers, all united in their determination to face this challenge, she felt a surge of that uniquely human quality: hope. The diplomatic dance had led to unexpected revelations, but it had also forged a new path forward. Humanity and the Galactic Concordat, two wildly different civilizations, now stood together, ready to face the darkness that threatened to engulf them all. As the formal proceedings concluded and the real work of preparing for the coming storm began, Chen allowed herself a small smile. The galaxy had no idea what it was in for. Humanity was coming, bringing with them their unpredictability, their adaptability, and their unshakable determination. The Epsilon threat might be an unstoppable force, but it was about to meet an immovable object, the indomitable human spirit. Unity in diversity, a new galactic order. The vast shipyards orbiting Mars buzzed with activity. Massive vessels, a hybrid of human ingenuity and alien technology, took shape against the backdrop of stars. On the command deck of the newly christened flagship, the HSS Prometheus, Captain Sarah Chen stood beside Zixlian, watching the final preparations for humanity's first major contribution to the galactic war effort. "It's remarkable," Zixlian's melodious voice carried a note of awe. "In mere months, you've adapted our technology and improved upon it in ways we never imagined." Chen nodded, a hint of pride in her voice. "That's the human way, Zixlian. We see possibilities where others see limitations." The ship's intercom crackled to life. "Captain, we're receiving a priority transmission from Earth Command." "Put it through," Chen ordered. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing the grim face of Admiral Yuki Tanaka. "Captain Chen, Emissary Zixlian, we've received word from the Concordat's deep space monitoring stations. The Epsilon threat has breached the outer defense perimeter. They'll reach populated systems within days." Chen's jaw tightened. "Understood, Admiral. The Prometheus is ready for launch. We'll rendezvous with the Concordat fleet at the designated coordinates." As the transmission ended, Chen turned to her alien counterpart. "This is it, Zixlian. The moment of truth." The iridescent beam's form rippled with a mix of emotions. "Indeed, Captain. May your human luck be with us all." The Prometheus, along with its escort fleet, slipped into fold space, embarking on humanity's first intergalactic military campaign. As they traveled, Chen couldn't help but marvel at how far they'd come in such a short time. The integration of human and alien technologies had been challenging, but the results were nothing short of revolutionary. Human AI systems, combined with Concordat quantum computers, had created predictive models that could anticipate the Epsilon threat's movements with uncanny accuracy. Earth's militaries, working alongside alien strategists, had developed tactics that leveraged the unique strengths of each species. But perhaps most importantly, the human spirit of innovation had spread throughout the Concordat. Alien scientists, inspired by their human counterparts, began to question long-held assumptions and explore new avenues of research. The result was a technological renaissance that had given the galaxy a fighting chance against the seemingly unstoppable enemy. The fleet dropped out of fold space at the edge of the Arcturus system, the site chosen for their stand against the Epsilon threat. The view that greeted them was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Hundreds of Concordat ships, representing dozens of alien races, hung in space before them. And beyond, visible even at this vast distance, was the approaching Epsilon threat, a roiling mass of biomechanical horror that seemed to devour the very light around it. All ships, battle stations. Chen's voice rang out clear and confident. This is the moment we've prepared for. Remember your training. Trust in each other. And no matter what happens, never give up hope. As the human fleet took its position, a transmission came through from the Concordat's flagship. Grand Arbiter Kethax's imposing form appeared on the screen. Captain Chen, the alien leader's voice boomed. On behalf of the Galactic Concordat, I thank you and your species for standing with us in our darkest hour. Your courage and innovation have given us a chance where before we saw only despair. Chen nodded solemnly. We're all in this together, Grand Arbiter. Humanity is proud to fight alongside our galactic neighbors. As the transmission ended, Zixlian turned to Chen, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the approaching enemy. I must confess, Captain, there is still much about humans I do not understand. In the face of such overwhelming odds, how do you maintain your composure, your hope? Chen smiled, her eyes fixed on the looming threat. It's simple, Zixlian. We've spent our entire history facing overwhelming odds. From our earliest days, surviving in a world that seemed designed to kill us, to our modern struggles against disease, climate change, and our own destructive nature. Every time, we've come back stronger. It's not just hope. It's the unshakable belief that as long as we keep fighting, we have a chance. All ships, battle stations. Chen's voice rang out clear and confident. This is the moment we've prepared for. Remember your training. Trust in each other. And no matter what happens, never give up hope. As the human fleet took its position, a transmission came through from the Concordat's flagship. Grand Arbiter Kethax's imposing form appeared on the screen. Captain Chen, the alien leader's voice boomed. On behalf of the Galactic Concordat, I thank you and your species for standing with us in our darkest hour. Your courage and innovation have given us a chance where before we saw only despair. Chen nodded solemnly. We're all in this together, Grand Arbiter. Humanity is proud to fight alongside our galactic neighbors. As the transmission ended, Zixlian turned to Chen, its multifaceted eyes reflecting the approaching enemy. I must confess, Captain, there is still much about humans I do not understand. In the face of such overwhelming odds, how do you maintain your composure, your hope? Chen smiled, her eyes fixed on the looming threat. It's simple, Zixlian. We've spent our entire history facing overwhelming odds. From our earliest days, surviving in a world that seemed designed to kill us, to our modern struggles against disease, climate change, and our own destructive nature. Every time, we've come back stronger. It's not just hope. It's the unshakable belief that as long as we keep fighting, we have a chance. The alien emissary's form shimmered with what might have been admiration. a remarkable perspective. Perhaps this is why you were the key we needed all along. Before Chen could respond, alarms blared across the ship. The Epsilon threat had entered weapons range. All ships, execute Battle Plan Theta. Chen commanded, her voice steady. Remember, we're not just fighting for Earth or the Concordat. We're fighting for the right of all sentient life to exist freely. Let's show this threat what happens when the galaxy stands united. What followed was a battle that would be remembered for millennia to come. Human unpredictability and adaptability, combined with alien technology and strategy, created a defense that the Epsilon threat had never encountered before. Concordat ships, guided by human AI, executed maneuvers that defied conventional space combat tactics. Human-designed weapons, powered by alien energy sources, tore through the enemy's biomechanical shells. And through it all, the indomitable human spirit spread through the Allied forces, inspiring acts of incredible bravery and sacrifice. Hours turned into days as the battle raged on. The Allied fleet suffered heavy losses, but for the first time in its existence, the Epsilon threat found itself being pushed back. In the final desperate hours of the conflict, it was a human innovation that turned the tide. Dr. Emily Sado, working with a team of Concordat scientists, had developed a virus, part biological, part technological, that could infiltrate and disrupt the Epsilon threat's hive mind. As the virus took hold, the once coordinated enemy force began to falter. Ship by ship, segment by segment, the threat began to disintegrate. When the last enemy ship had been neutralized, a stunned silence fell over the Allied fleet. Then, gradually, cheers and celebrations erupted across every ship, in 100 different languages and forms of communication. On the bridge of the Prometheus, Captain Chen allowed herself a moment of relief before turning to Sicilian. It's over. We did it. The alien emissary's form shimmered with joy and disbelief. No, Captain. You did it. Humanity did it. You showed us that unity does not mean uniformity, that our differences can be our greatest strength. In the days that followed, as the Allied fleet began the long process of recovery and rebuilding, a new galactic order began to take shape. The Concordat, inspired by humanity's example, began to reform itself. No longer would advanced races simply absorb or subjugate younger species. Instead, a true galactic community was forming, one where each race was valued for its unique perspectives and abilities. Humanity, for its part, found itself thrust into a position of unexpected influence. Their adaptability, their drive to innovate, and their unyielding spirit had not only saved the galaxy, but had changed it fundamentally. As Captain Sarah Chen stood in the newly established Galactic Council chambers, watching representatives from hundreds of worlds come together in true cooperation, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride and hope for the future. The human factor, that unique blend of instinct, innovation, and indomitable will, had proven to be the key to not just survival, but to a new era of galactic prosperity. As humanity took its place among the stars, it did so not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals, ready to face whatever challenges the universe might throw their way. The stars, once distant and unreachable, now beckoned with the promise of endless possibilities, and humanity, true to its nature, was ready to answer that call, to explore, to learn, to grow, and above all, to keep pushing the boundaries of what was thought possible. For in the end, that was the true legacy of the human spirit. The unshakable belief that there is always a way forward, always a solution to be found, as long as one has the courage and the will to seek it out. And as the newly united galaxy looked to the future, one thing was certain: with humanity as part of the cosmic family, that future was brighter than ever before.